Okay, so now that you've got your walls done to your ledger board, it's time to take a look at the floor. I've got a cabinet going in here as we spoke of earlier when we were doing the plumbing and all that kind of stuff. I've got a toilet flange right here to go around, and then the rest is pretty square and pretty easy. I'll have a Schluter strip at the doorway as well. So what I'd like to do to start is build a base for my cabinet to put down on the floor to dry fit my tiles up to. If you don't have your cabinet at this point in construction, you can tile underneath the whole area and level your cabinet on top of that. That's an acceptable way. Some cabinets have plastic legs, some have full closed off boxes. I'm using knockdown cabinets that I build plywood bases for, set them level, and drop my cabinets on top. So for my situation, I am going to install that base before I do my tile floor layout, and then I'll proceed to do a dry fit with the floor tiles just to make sure everything's perfect again and that I like everything, and then I'll mix up some thin set and glue down this floor. So come along to the garage with me. We're going to start building this base. Okay, so now we're back into the garage here. I've got my plywood ripped to 4 3/4 high, and I've ripped it to the length of 42 inches. The cabinet base I'm building is 42 inches by 19, so I've got my 4 studs here, cut at 19 minus the thickness of these two, which is 1.5 inches off of that, so 17.5 for my stud pieces and 42 inches for my top and bottom plates. Very similar to framing a wall. I'm going to do my 16 on center layout down the center. I'm going to use my pneumatic stapler, shoots these staples to build my framework, and then I should be ready to install it into the basement. Okay, so now I've got my 42 inch by 19 inch cabinet base assembled. I'm gonna bring it down to the basement, screw that down into the washroom, and begin my dry fitting for my tile. Okay, so now that you've got your base built in place, time to just throw a level on it, check it out, and then screw it down. When I'm screwing it down to the floor, I'm just gonna screw it into the base plate of the wall, across this wall, and the base plate across the wall here. Not too worried about hitting studs. In this situation, the force from the cabinet is all downward, not necessary to get crazy with how you fasten this in. So hitting the bottom plate on the two sides would be sufficient enough. Alright, all looks good. Okay, so very securely fastened in cabinet base. Okay, so in this kitchen layout, I've got a peninsula that's going to extend out over here. Now, I've got the back cabinets running against this wall, and I need the peninsula to be perfectly square with the back wall of these cabinets. So what I've done is, off this, I'm drawing a triangle. I know that if I have a triangle with the side of 3 feet, and I have another side of 4 feet, that the long angle is exactly 5 feet. So what I'm gonna do is put my tape on here, mark myself a 3-foot line, right there in the pen. I'm gonna clip my tape over here, mark myself a 4-foot line, then I'm gonna set my tape on the corner of my line and make sure that I have exactly 5 feet, which I do. So that would mean that this peninsula leg is exactly square with this section of base as well. So